very quick question on what is the difference that you see between CA and ACCA? What are the deciding criteria for you? Anybody should do ACCA, CA, when and how should they select? When should they choose from this course to the other course? What's your opinion on this?
So like if I talk about CA, if you want to have a signing right and if you want to open your own office, you can pursue CA. Then there is not any option left other than CA, because ACCA does not give you a signing right in India. So if you want a signing right, if you want to sign the audits, you should go for CA. But if you want flexibility in your life, if you want to do your job together with your studies, if you want to do internships together with your studies, if you do not want to get involved in the group system, like if you are not habitual of preparing for 4 or 5 papers simultaneously, then I think go for ACCA, because ACCA offers you an opportunity to prepare one paper at a time, clear it, then move on to the other paper. So there is a lot of flexibility if I compare with CA. Then second thing is that like in CA, if you are stuck in one paper, you have cleared the 3 papers with 50-55 marks. You are not considered as a pass, or you are not considered as someone who has cleared the group, because you cannot clear the single paper. So that should not be the case, I think. That is not the case with ACCA. You can pass the one paper. Also, in CA finals, you have to you have to study all the subjects which you are not interested in. Like you have to do for audit, you have to go for SFM, you have to go for taxation and all. But in ACCA professional level papers, you can decide which papers or which career path you want to take in. Like if you want to do a finance career path, if you want to go on a finance career path, you can consider choosing papers like AFM, APM. If you want to go into the audit field, accounting field, you can consider the advanced audit. If you want to go in taxation field, you can consider advanced taxation. So there is a lot of less burden as we compare to the CA. You do not have to unnecessarily read and read and read and then give exams like in the CA. So this is the differences I see in CA and
I would
ACCA.
want to add up something here, because I think the biggest thing which I see is the question paper style and the kind of questions that are asked in ACCA. So they're very case study based, and there are like 3 questions, 2 questions, and look at papers like SBL, which will
Right.
now have a pre-released case study which everybody would know in advance, and you can actually do as much research about the case study and then sit for the paper. I think that's the most interesting thing. I was shocked to know when I started teaching ACCA. I was shocked to know when they said, "Oh, we'll give you an Excel sheet calculator. We'll give every formula that you can use, every information that is required in a general sense, which you could probably Google out, and that is required to solve the question, is already provided. All these formula, material, other things, the case study details, everything is given. You have to just solve the situation." I think
Right.
that's the most interesting part about ACCA, which I feel is different from CA. The second part, which I feel different, is the technology aspect. I think, it's very tech enabled. It can be very challenging for a lot of people, because, you remember, I made you guys, type a quick brown fox jumped over a lazy dog in the classroom and said, practice typing, because that's going to be the biggest challenge for you, to write good English in the examination, to be able to write in an international style on technology. And it's a descriptive tech enabled paper, which is, I think, so unique to any examination that's not happening anywhere else in the world. So I think that's the most interesting thing about it. But I'll tell you something very interesting about CA as well. And I don't want to just disparage people because, this just we're saying ACCA. So I want to tell you something. CA as a course makes you learn how to work very, very hard, right? It makes you very diligent. And CA makes you understand the level of sincerity and dedication it takes to really crack that paper, because it requires you to crack all these 4 papers in one go. So I think it's a very tough thing to do. And those who crack CA, I salute all of them, because it's really tough. I think cracking that examination is a very, very tough challenge. So I think there are these plus and minuses to both these courses. If at all somebody is looking for practicing in India, joining an MSME, joining a local business, being involved in the Indian style of business, I think CA is fantastic. And I do not want to say that it's a bad course in any case. If somebody wants to build an international career, want to work in MNCs, want to work in a multinational environment, or probably work on, and do courses which are more practical, realistic, more tech enabled, and futuristic, I think ACCA sounds very interesting to me. So I think ACCA opens up a lot of doors and thought processes which you would not have ever imagined in your life. So probably doing an international audit sitting back here in India was unimaginable, but ACCAs are now doing it. So I think this is one part of the story.